upgrade testing.
Yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen.
By the way, I have a question regarding the substrate. If anyone is running with substrate enabled, it's the fact that we are using IP addresses for the Valky. It's running out of sync with every restart or every like local cluster. When you touch something, then eventually like the Valky cannot synchronize anymore because the configuration run out of sync with those IPs. If your pod got a new IP, it's not using DNS to discover each other. So whenever the cluster is like all the nodes are connected, they kind of remember the IP addresses of the pods. And then when you do something or restart or whatever, it's actually broken. So I had to like repair the Valky Redis.
Is that? But that's not us, right? I mean,
no,
that's substrate. It's not Kagent, right? That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, but when this happens, the Kagent controller starts to crash loop because it cannot connect to the API server, and then maybe we need to make sure that this is not. So we can degrade a little bit, like not that dramatically, because if substrate is not working, I think the regular agents should not be impacted.
I agree. Should we?
I can also have a look on that. Maybe just fix it in Kagent or make it. We can mark some kind of system status like.
So you're saying if the IPs in the Valky
change the basically the entire thing. How you pronounce the substrate? Those eights controller or
8 controller, yeah. 8 controller, whatever.
So 8 controller is crash looping, then the Kagent controller crash looping as well.
Oh, okay.
And and it's not really nice.
Okay, so this might be an issue in substrate, but we definitely need to fix in.
I think in substrate, I've seen someone mentioned.
Okay.
There was some discussion if we should use DNS or not.
Okay.
I need to go back to that substrate dev.
Okay. I added a note there. So Eitan had one topic and he just threw it out there and he's not gonna show up today, I guess. So he created 09 for bug fixes, and then anything that gets merged will go to 010x because we're at 0910 or whatever, right now. And then Jet, you had a PR, right, to make the Go ADK default.
Yeah, it was merged this morning. So starting from 10, I think that would go into 10. Starting there, all the new agents would be in Go.
That's great.
Okay, yeah. So is there I don't think we don't have a timeline, right, for the 010 release. I'm thinking I'll put it like this. So is there anything else we want to get in? I know we should get the Dimitro's what are we calling UI, MCP UI, right?
I have there also the one PR for the artifacts upload.
Yeah, and upload artifacts. That would be nice as well, right?
And SSO fix, which is minor, but it's resolved this redirect when expired. That's probably a big wish list.
Yeah, actual PRs we could consider, right? I'll just so we have it in the list. I think those are like the big ones.
Yeah, I would also like to get. I'm working on a rewrite of the orchestrator, or to an orchestrator, I guess, for the database migrations. So.
Okay.
It should be a
by the way, I have a question about database management. So in one of my future PRs, which is currently in draft, I have this idea of like this UI plugins, right? So we have one PR, which is now we discussed. It's just inside the chat, you have a regular MCP UI support. But the second one is actually when we will introduce this navigation menu and ability to extend it. So we can, for example, run MCP with a spec UI enabled, and then add a menu for that. So it means if I click on the menu, on the main screen, we will see like a UI loaded. And then if this MCP needs access to database, right? The question is like, what do you think it should be, approach should be? Should we just consider that someone will handle this database creation automatically, or?
But wait, would this be like database? Give me an example.
Like I have a new schema, right? I want inside the database to provision a new schema, right?
From where?
But my MCP will do it automatically as soon as it has credentials, right? So the question is like how these credentials for the database and user creation, should be managed. So
wait, so you're saying your MCP UI, your MCP server that exposes the UI, you want that to have access to the Kagent
let's say we have a plugin, right? We have plugin mechanism. So we connect this MCP UI, and let's say this MCP runs inside Kagent namespace, and it needs or requires like a database to be provisioned. I think one solution, we can just put default user password the same as Kagent, but potentially this is not so secure, right?
Honestly, I don't think it should be going to the database, to our database.
Yeah. I mean, if it's running in Kagent, an idea is the orchestrator I'm working on allows you to set additional migration sources and the schema that those migrations apply to.
That's my point is. Yeah. So if I want to, for example, create another schema or user, right? So it would be nice to have some way to configure it. In this case, I can just give for your orchestrator all of this additional information, maybe, and then I don't need to do anything, or at least say, okay, for create new user and create a new schema, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, so it's technically possible with the way I'm writing it, not to create a new user, but the orchestrator will create a schema. If the named schema doesn't exist, it'll apply the migrations to it. It's order dependent, so on errors, it'll roll back in the opposite order that it was applying. But yeah, I don't know. It really depends on how the MCP server is deployed, whether you'd really want that to be running in the same database or if you'd have its own independent database.
Yeah, it can run in independent or different schema. The thing is that I don't want actually the production controller to be responsible so much, making Kagent responsible for schema and users sounds to me like too much.
But what is I personally don't think we should allow plugins to talk to and or connect to the database.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
In terms of writing to the database.
No, we can have a separate schema. So for example, if let's take example of my Kanban board, right? I have the Kanban board where I have boards, tasks, statuses, right? And everything which is extending the current Kagent functionality, and this is MCP, where agents would be able to manage tasks, and represent their activities in the Kanban. So for me, it's a valid case, but in the same database that we have for Postgres, we can run it as just a separate schema instead of running separate database.
Maybe we need to. Okay, so I think.
Or you think I should bring a separate database instance?
So I'm thinking originally, yes, but I'm thinking back at when I used to work at Office and SharePoint and stuff, and they had like the extension and plugin models. They had a concept of first-party plugins and third-party plugins.
Yeah.
So maybe we say first-party plugins, and we decide what those are, right? Those have more access to things.
Yeah.
like the database, maybe, right? And then third-party plugins, well, they only have access to like they have to bring their own database, let's say,
Right.
right?
Makes
I don't
sense.
know. Maybe we do it that way. I don't think having any like people. I don't want people creating plugins and then having like a read-write access to the Kagent database, and because they'll shoot themselves in the
Yeah,
foot,
but that's why
you know?
I'm saying it can be separated properly with a separate user and schema. So for example,
But if it's separate user, then you would still need it would still be on your plugin to configure access to that database, right? No?
yes.
Right?
It's currently like open question. You see, the problem is there, and in some cases it would be nice to have ability to delegate some kind of let's say dynamically created user for plugins, right? And inject it in the remote MCP or something like this. I need to think how we can provision that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you have like if there's a specific
for now I will keep it just Helm values, okay? So someone who is deploying needs to figure out and put the Helm values. But it's like,
I think once I have the orchestrator rewrite in, which should be pretty soon, let's write up a proposal for what it might look like to have plugin integration, and then we can debate on that whether it's worth it.
I think for me is like just figuring out what is the actual scenario here. If it's something that we think that other plugin developers would use as well, or if this is like a one-off because this specific thing might.
From database perspective, you see, we have, like you said, we have first class. It means controller will have ability to create the main Kagent database, schema, and for example, it can create additional secondary users and secondary schemas, right? But for example, without, I don't know, maybe without the tables. And then that extra user will actually on connect will do automatically, after migration, and will create all the missing tables or whatever is needed, because that's like, that's version based, that MCP itself has in it, right? So, but actually these secondary users, which do not have all permissions for the all database, they are not like root, but they are locked in specific schema. I think that is fine, it's
but this is mostly like because you want to reuse the same database, nothing else, right?
Because I want to avoid like running a separate instance, and I just want to have a like additional schema.
Okay, so this is not your plugin needing access to like internal Kagent
no, we don't,
right? Okay.
At least not this one. I mean, if you would do, for example, a plugin which requires, let's say, kind of telemetry observability, right, and wants to read through the session tables and do some stuff, that could be a valid case where you want to give it, but it's like you said, it's read-only. I think we have this case where we need a read-only user, right? So we can give access to regular Kagent database read-only, and then that plugin may display like statistics on sessions, cost, and stuff like this, right? Because
I think we should have a well-known interface for the plugins can use to not directly talk to the database, but to get information from the database. And then second thing would be, because I'm thinking
we can do it via API. You are right. We can.
Yeah, I'm just thinking from the plugin perspective, to connect to the database, right, and to write stuff there or whatever, you need access to that database, right?
Mm-hmm.
What in addition to that, what else would you need access to? Like, in your plugin, you would just say, here's the URL, here's the connection string, right? Username, password, whatever API key. Is there anything else in addition that you would need to do stuff in the database? Like, what would Kagent have to do? That's what I'm asking.
Just provision schema and the user. That's it.
Can the plugin provision the schema?
If it has
the actual one, the actual tables and everything after connected, yes. But in order to have a connection, right, and have permissions to create schema, it would require some user. So I mean, I can definitely put like default, I don't know, admin, and then you have a shared user and no security.
And is this with like the built-in Postgres database, or is this like an external, or
Could be both.
regardless?
I think it could be both.
Because like if it's an external, I feel like there's an expectation that at the very least you can provision it yourself. So that's another thing I'm looking into is how we can skip migrations on the install and instead have like the Kagent CLI have built-in migrations and be able to externally apply those. But in a external database, like you're gonna have credentials to be able to create the schema as an administrator anyway, and maybe that's a reasonable expectation for a plugin. Is like, hey, to install this plugin, create a schema and then provide the plugin via Helm values the URL to connect to that specific schema.
Right.
But we can consider.
I mean, I think for now it would be enough if, let's say, in the current Kagent values, we can give a list of extra users, right? And basically, for each user, you will create like a username, password, and schema, and you will store it as some secret that I can mount by following some convention. I think that would be enough for the starting point. But again, let's maybe do a proposal like you said,
I think so.
and think about that more.
Yeah, I think there are implications that are hard to think of in the moment. So
to have access to the database and provision schemas, right?
And users.
Something like that, yeah. Users, yeah.
Users and schemas.
And something else.
No, just those two.
I
like it's a PR proposal.
That's a combination of both.
Exactly.
It's
okay.
Like this. Proposal. Okay. So I added the another like quick topic. I was talking to Nick, our UI guy, thinking about the end-to-end testing. We don't have any end-to-end testing, at least not UI end-to-end testing. So I'll talk with him a little bit more, but I think he mentioned that our UI team might be able to take on the end-to-end testing for Kagent as well and help us out with that, basically to like set up Playwright, whatever we need to do, and then implement end-to-end tests. However, I would like to take a first stab on that, or if someone else wants to do it, that's fine as well, because I know there's a lot of things that we should clean up in UI code. But anyway, it's something that will be coming probably in the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, before we invest in this end-to-end test, do you think we should finalize that navigation menu for plugins or not? Because it changed a little bit.
Yeah. This is not something. I don't think this will be
okay.
Like
because it would require then rework of navigation.
I know. That's the whole. That's why I'm like, end-to-end tests are very valuable. UI end-to-end tests are valuable, very valuable, provided you're not changing UI too much.
You know, there is this use case if you use some like like kind of agentic coding in some cases, right? And you want really to have like some pipeline in which at the end you are getting list of screenshots,
We have that. So we have that set up in Chromatic, I think. So Chromatic, and I think when I was talking to Nick, he said there's a whatever they're using, they get like videos at the end as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's videos, but we do have Chromatic. Right, we don't have a lot of we have some stories there, right?
But wait, this Chromatic, you are using that storyboard?
Yes.
How it's called?
Yeah, so it's using the stories, right? And it can render the screens, but what it can also do,
but this is not the actual E2E after it's deployed, right? It's a more like
it gives you, like, if the UI has changed,
Mhm.
right? You have to go there and approve it. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
see.
So it's not necessarily like automated testing. It's more of a,
I
someone
understand.
added
Mhm.
like a new piece of UI. How does it look like, and how can I see it without setting everything up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more like, yeah, let's say
Yeah,
this
makes
doesn't
sense.
work,
Yeah.
right? But so we have that, and I think once we like, I'll have to take a look what that thing is that he was talking about. And then we can get the videos as well but that would be like end-to-end tests, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you get accessibility here as well, right? Which, I mean, it's there. It's just a lot of the UI stories are already there, right?
Do you know how expensive is one run? Like if you do it per pull request or per something, like, or you do it per release? How exactly?
Timing wise, you mean, like
No,
time wise,
no.
or
How much it costs if you?
well, we have a free version, so it doesn't cost us anything, but well, it costs us.
Okay, the free version I already seen. It was given message you run out of free,
Yes,
so it's
yes,
not running for every PR.
It's not running for every PR, and it runs for every PR, but it's not giving us the data for every PR,
Yeah.
right? But yeah. Anyway, so it will be coming in, I guess, in the near future, right? But I agree. I've managed end-to-end tests before, and it's very expensive to keep them, like to write them and then keep them in sync with everything. But if we make them, I think we need to make them in such a way that we start with like the very basic end-to-end test that we all agree on, right? Like, here's the header, here's the footer. Everyone agrees on that, right? That should not break. And then as we like clean up more stuff, then we can just tighten the tests even more, right?
Yeah, for example, like recently there was this issue where the message count was validated against local and server. It was calculating sometimes incorrectly. And when you press send in the chat, it was giving this message that it was already processed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't done a good job in
no, but
on
this
the
is like a
UI testing
basic,
stuff.
very basic functionality, which when you install the version, you don't expect this to fail, right? So this is must work in any condition.
Yeah. And we will definitely, like, maybe we come up with like a couple of not shorter, but a couple of end-to-end tests that are not necessarily like 20 minutes long to run, right? Something that can verify creating an agent, creating a model, creating an MCP server, right? It's create. Does create work? Does MCP server CRUD work from the UI,
those forms were a second issue that often when you create everything with YAML and then you run with
it's different, right? Like you miss the issues, right? But anyway, so that will be coming. Any other topic anyone has or want to talk about?
I touched on it earlier, but I'm adding some upgrade tests, and I'm adding SQL, C query, contraction checks. So just additional safety around our upgrade and rollback story. So for example, both of those will run against the last release on your current branch, as well as the last long-term support release on the LTS branch. So you'll be able to upgrade from, let's say, 0.9.10 to whatever version of, like whatever main has for its 0.10.x, and make sure that you don't have like a query in the old version against a database that doesn't work with that query. So
okay. So is this something that we already have, or you said you're working on
I
it?
am working on expanding it. We have some of this, but I'm adding CI checks and additional tests to make it more verifiable, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I want to make it so that when you have Kagent at some minor version, and you upgrade to the next minor version, and that succeeds, and you decide, hey, this doesn't have a feature that I want, or there's some bug that wasn't caught during the actual migration, I need to roll back. The code can still run against the upgraded database until you can manually roll back the database with this eventual Kagent CLI that I'm thinking of. Or today, you can use Golang migrate against the migration files on GitHub to roll back.
It's this one, right? 2080, 2040, 84, right?
Yeah, and I also have 2085, and I also have 2067.
85, 20, 67, just for
Yeah, and then I'll have another one for the orchestration change, and
yeah,
there's
yeah. And there's a lot of other PRs as well. I didn't go like those are just top of my head that we had there.
Yeah, I'll have a migration support to Kagent CLI, adding a release manifest for tracking migrations to their appropriate release, adding a -- go to release tooling for the Kagent CLI so you can upgrade and downgrade easily there. So there's a lot of stuff I'm
Yeah,
doing.
so because we have so many PRs now and it's increasing, and I believe it will be even more increasing, do we have any skills for like pull request review, which is like a, basically which represents the approach and wisdom that like all the reviewers are applying, like typically what Peter, when you look on the PR for the UI, that these things should look like this and this should look like that, right? Can we create like a skill file for those things that we can run it even before you look onto it, and then maybe, give a user the chance to kind of
like something that
like
users can run locally before they even
locally, like a hook or pre or something. And
we have the Kagent-dev skill, which I've been encoding a lot of like the database migration considerations and constraints, for example, into. I think that type of skill, as opposed to a review skill, is good.
Yeah, like for example, when I was doing this last reviews, you mentioned that we shouldn't use this .. We should use the ampersand and things like that. We can even probably look on existing pull requests and comments and start to
extract. I mean, also, let me see, Jeremy, you said we had
Kagent-dev skill.
Kagent-dev.
It's in the .clod/skills folder.
Yeah. I can see it. Okay. And that one is just generic for everything. The dev guideline. Right?
How to develop.
No, it can be skill, but then you can break it down on several.
Maybe
areas.
We do like a review skill, or make it part of the Kagent-dev skill, but just have like a review section, and then talk about, hey, if there's any changes in the controller, here's like the 5 things that you have to make sure that you're following, right? Go vet is run, like that's the thing that always like trips me.
That's for sure, yes. But then in
those are simple to fix.
Those for sure. Then actually, like those which exist only in your head and you don't have it like expressed in the skill, that's the hardest one. And we can also like look on existing pull requests, the typical commands, like ask some copilot or someone to go to all existing closed pull requests, look on comments, extract the typical comments and stuff, and make a skill from that. So it's basically like the self-reflection, right? So if we do that, we can get I think like those data mining for for knowledge.
Also I think there's definitely some skills that are out there, I would hope, I don't know,
I am using
for like UI development, or let's say or Go in general, things that we should, right?
There is MCP from Next.js, which I'm using.
Okay.
I think I shared this already a few times, but if you are not aware about that, it's basically, well, let me find it. Next.js MCP server something. And that helps a lot because it includes resources with some prompts and things, which helps you to do, for example, migration of Next.js. If you do upgrade of Next.js version, it's usually a very complex task. And they give you in this MCP all the required information, how to migrate.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. I mean, I'll add this one here, but this one is generic for dev. These skills.
I'll just...
These are fairly generic, but if anyone else has like skills that we could use for this, or I think we should definitely start small and then just keep adding instead of getting like 8 skills and just copy pasting everything in there, because that's not going to be helpful, right? I think
I agree. It'll fill the context quite quickly.
Yes, yeah. Like start with something like start small. That's the only thing that I'm saying. Start small, and then and it's an ongoing thing as well, right? As we like if you're reviewing the code and you're like, oh, why didn't we like this should have been caught by a skill, let's say, you make sure that you copy paste that and add it to the skill, right? So it's almost like keeping documentation up to date with how the code changes.
Yeah.
That will definitely be helpful. I mean, it would be, yeah. And we'll probably need a way, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm overthinking it again, but to have it in the CI that says, oh yeah, this passed, because we do have like a GitHub Copilot, right? Reviews that happen. And those can catch things as well, but...
Yeah, but 50% of those are some more like missing.
It's either not, like some of them are useful, but definitely not all of them.
Yeah.
Right? And it's definitely not something where if all is green and you resolve all of them, that you would feel comfortable merging right away. Right. And I don't...
so is it possible, like, let's say if we're doing review with GitHub Copilot, right? Is there a convention that I can put something in like .github Copilot?
Oh, so it keeps the
so it will.
Right?
I think then maybe we need to also add it there, right?
How to add more things to it? I don't know. I'm trying to feeding it extra content. Oh yeah, there is. No, wait.
There is like
you can
discussion. Is it possible to
customize instructions? You can create Copilot instructions.
Yeah, there is a discussion if you can customize the skills and stuff.
So you could do custom instructions, Copilot additional context, how to build, test, and validate.
So it can be .github Copilot instructions MD, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's what it's saying here.
Yeah. So then definitely, okay, so this is then the
maybe
summary.
we use this, right?
Yeah, that's the summary, what we need to do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do create this, right? And I'll do we'll figure this out. Someone needs to open an issue and just add an empty one if nothing else, right? Just like an empty thing, just so we can get started and then we can fill it up. Or we can figure out how to point it to the existing agents, kagent-dev that we already have, right? So
yeah, I do want to be cognizant that we've got like 5 minutes left. And I think Zachary, you're new to this, aren't you?
I am new. Hey, how's it going, guys? Sorry, I put my camera on, but I got a hat here. Let me find my hat here.
No worries. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm buddies with quite a few people at Solo, and I started using Kagent a while back to make like a fleet of SRE agents. And I really am fond of the project. Figured I'd pop in and say what's up. I'm also interested in, big Spiffy nerd here. I'm interested to hear the contributors and maintainers' thoughts on if putting in PRs or issues around Spiffy and interoperability and putting in some code to help integrate would be something that you guys value or have interest in. And just wanted to hear the thoughts around that as I work on workload attestation quite frequently in my day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would be interesting.
It sounds like it's more related to the integration that is going on with Substrate, right? Or in a way, because I think there is some discussions going on how to do it properly with, when previously we had like a pod for each agent, and you can do this workload identification, everything with SPIFFE and so on. Now, when it's going to run everything inside and you have the Substrate, I think they are still trying to figure out how to do it the right way. There is some discussion going on the Slack of the Substrate project as well, which we will actually adopt when it's
Nice.
ready.
So I'm in the Discord.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm in the Slack. Is it just
That's a regular cloud native CNCF Slack.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, the Substrate one they are using the Substrate is using Slack. Kagent is using Discord. Of course, why would it be the same, right?
Right on.
Yeah, I
I
put a
just
link.
jumped right into it. By way of introduction, nice to meet you all. My name is Zach Ruenberg. Currently, I'm an AI subject matter expert at Palo Alto Networks. And next week, I'm actually joining Oasis Security as a solution architect. Pleasure to meet you all. Big fan of this project and what you guys are doing here.
Awesome. Nice to have you here. And yeah, if you like for any spiffy stuff or thing, definitely interesting to hear your thoughts on how that could be integrated or how we could integrate with that.
Awesome. Well, I'm joining Substrate. Let me start and catch up on that first. And
Okay.
I'll probably write some thoughts in Discord before making anything formal on GitHub, and then I'll probably play around with my own local fork as well, and then see how to best address that with the Substrate architecture you guys were just discussing, and then hopefully I can join back here in a little bit and report what I've found out, and we can get it a little bit more granular.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll just I'm going to paste here the exact link. There is a thread which Ethan started also about some JWT outs, and then there is some discussion on this.
Awesome.
All right, so I think we're almost at time. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll chat next Tuesday, I guess. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. You
Bye.
too.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.